welcome back to Eat the World. I'm Chef Alex, and here we are on my journey across Canada. We're in southern Ontario. I'm actually visiting my parents, and we've come here to get some corn for our barbecue that we're going to do. So we've got some beautiful ribs I got at a farm, and we've got some amazing produce. And so yeah, we came and got some corn right there from the field, and we're going to get started cooking these ribs. So first of all, we're going to gather together our ingredients to make the rub for the ribs. Now there's a million different rubs you can use. You could use it whatever you want if you want, but like if the recipe below for this one will be there. So basically, a lot of these recipes will be brown sugar, cumin, dry mustard, garlic powder, onion, celery seed, oregano, coriander. That's all the ones that are in this one. Paprika for sure, bit of salt, pepper. But yeah, like I said, there's a million different rubs you can use. You can buy a commercial one if you want to use as well. You don't have to be fancy about it, but just use whatever you like. But I've got a great recipe. Dad's is amazing. So here's the ribs. My father is meticulous, and I gotta apologize for this blown out lighting that happened just there. But he used a paper towel. This is my father preparing this. He used a paper towel and grabbed that thin membrane along the back of the ribs, and he just managed to pull it all off in one go, which is pretty good. So well done there, Dad. And now he's just going to trim them up. And like I said, my father is absolutely meticulous. I found it even a little bit painful watching him. But I have to hand it to him. The ribs looked absolutely amazing when he was done. So yeah. Once they've all trimmed up, and you've got your rub mixed together, that's just combining all the ingredients. And then just rub liberally on top of the ribs and on the back side. And not much more complicated than that, to be honest with you. Get a good rub, get a good quality, get good quality meat, and give them a good rub, and then we'll get them ready to go. So yeah, we'll give them a good coating, and then we'll take them over to the smoker. Now, Dad's got a Bradley smoker that he's got fired up with some hickory and a water pan below it. These are great electric smokers. I think they're fantastic. So yeah, if you use that, we're using these are Memphis ribs, so they're not sauced up, so those would typically be like a 3-2-1 method. So that's 3 hours of smoking, and then 2 hours wrapped, and then 1 hour unwrapped, and 1 hour unwrapped and sauced. But these don't get sauced, so these are a dry rib. So it's kind of like a 3-3 almost. That's a mop that we've used. That's got a bunch of different ingredients in it as well. I'm going to have all those down below. Basically, it's some stock, some Worcester sauce, some cider vinegar, that kind of thing. So after the first hour or so, my dad, this is his method, he starts mopping them. So there you can see that it's like it hasn't even really started smoking yet. They're just cooking. You'll find all the temperatures down below as well. So he's given a good mop there to these, give them a good coating, keep them nice and moist, and then so then it's going to really get into the smoking part of the cooking now. But whatever smoker you have, however you like to program it, I think it's a matter of taste. There's so much you can do with these, and like, to be honest with you, even if you smoked it for an hour or so, they would still come out fabulous as long as you stick to the right temperatures and have a nice decent recipe. Like, I've never met a rib I didn't like, as long as it's cooked well, and that sort of 3-2-1 or 3-3 method that we're kind of going to do. And these turned out perfectly, as you'll see. So anyways, Dad's being very generous and very liberal with that. And then after our 3 hours, you'll take them out, and then we're going to wrap them. You'll see also here, just under the ribs, after about the second hour, we put in a pan of baked beans with my dad's own kind of bacon in it. And to be honest with you, it was a can of baked beans that my mum just sort of doctored up. She put, like I said, sliced up their own bacon and stuck them in the smoker to smoke as well. So you can see here, after 3 hours, they've got a nice bark on them. They've got that, that dark coating. And so that's giving it a nice, again, just a beautiful extra mopping to add a little bit more moisture to it and make sure that it cooks and sort of, it almost braises or steams with that moisture in there. So yeah, you watch my father meticulously wrap up these ribs. He prefers using paper. A lot of people use foil, and there's nothing wrong with using foil. Dad is, like I said, meticulous about what he does, and he likes doing things in a very specific way. And yeah, he prefers using paper, and actually it gave a fantastic result. Some people think the foil gives it a bit of a metallic taste. I think it's fine. And even if you do use that, you can always line the top and bottom of the ribs with a bit of parchment paper. That'll create a barrier between the foil and the ribs. So yeah. Anyways, so going back to the ribs, you can choose whatever cut style you like. These I got from a local butcher, and they're very good quality. They're nice and meaty and fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna put those back in the oven for another 3 hours. We're gonna let that all cook. Back in the smoker, I should say. And so, next step was I was gonna make a salad with some ingredients I got down at the farm in the field. Southern Ontario in the summertime is just fantastic for produce. So I wanted to make a fresh mozzarella. So it's mozzarella I got from a local farm. I've got these beautiful peaches. I've got some really nice peppers, and I think this is a fantastic summery dish, which isn't your typical Memphis kind of rib salad to go with smoked beans, but trust me on this one, it's a beautiful, beautiful dish. It's basically fresh mozzarella with some grilled peppers. The pears are going to be, the peaches are going to be grilled as well, and you'll see that it's just the most beautiful fresh salad with some prosciutto and some fresh basil from my mum's garden. But you can see how juicy those peaches are. Absolutely great summer salad any time of year, as long as you've got some good fresh produce. So barbecue's all hot and fired up. We're gonna stick these peppers on there. We're gonna stick the peaches on there too. And I think a lot of people might think that the peaches, that's kind of a weird thing, but it's not. Trust me on this one. You want to char. When you roast a pepper, you want to get the char on the outside. It gives it a smoky flavor, and then you peel off the skin very easily. We're going to have the same principle with these beautiful juicy peaches, and we're going to let these grill. So we want them to actually blacken a little bit, and that'll give the peaches kind of like a cooked, jammy, smoky flavor that goes so amazingly well with the prosciutto and the mozzarella. Now, one quick word about the mozzarella is, like, you can use, actually what I'd prefer to use is a burrata. If you've ever had burrata before, it's kind of like a really super creamy, soft mozzarella. That's a whole other discussion, but if you have a fresh mozzarella, it's a great cheese to use with this salad, because it's sort of that you get that milk kind of oozing out of it, and that helps form part of the dressing that goes with the salad as well. It kind of leaches in, and all the flavors kind of marry together. It's beautiful. But the mozzarella I had was actually a little bit more dry, which was good in its own way, because the dressing that I put on the salad, and all the juices from the pears, I keep saying pears, from the peaches and the peppers, that all comes, and the olive oil, that all comes out, and it sort of soaks up into that mozzarella. So you've got like a more aged flavored mozzarella that's absorbing all of these amazing flavors. So yeah. Anyways, you see we've left these peaches on for quite a while, and they've got that beautiful caramelized, not burnt, they're caramelized crust on it. Same, the peppers are just about done there. You see me taking them off, so we're going to take those off, and we're going to put them aside, cover them, and let them sort of steam a bit so we can get the skins off a little bit easier. So we'll put those to the side, and off we're going to go soon with these peaches and peppers. And I guess you could probably use apricots as well. That would be an amazing, or even, I mean, I haven't tried this with nectarines. It might be a different kettle of fish, but I don't see why. But you see how those peaches are now a little bit more softer to the touch, but without being mushy. They're kind of jammy, I almost call it. Like, you can see it's kind of making peach jam inside it as you're cooking it. But you see how the skins are blackened? That's exactly what we want to help get those skins off easier. And that's beautiful, and it gives that smoky flavor as well. So here's our mozzarella I was talking about earlier. It's a fresh mozzarella, but it's a little bit more dry. You see how it's stringy? And then, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I kind of prefer a softer one, but this was this came from a farm. The guy made it himself, and it was a little bit aged, and I couldn't resist. It was just beautiful. But look how the texture of it just pulls apart. It's real mozzarella. So anyways, we're just going to shred that all up, and we're just going to layer it down on the bottom of our serving dish. Now we've got our beautiful peppers and our peaches. So what you're going to do is just carefully peel the black skin off, and then we're going to layer that on top of the mozzarella as well. Now these peppers and the peaches are still warm as well, which is fantastic because that'll help warm up that mozzarella too. Not quite get it melty, but it'll just make it a little bit softer and change the texture of it, like from coming from the fridge, which is exactly what we want. So we'll just keep peeling away here, and then again, like I said, this is a great kind of you kind of create layers as you go, and then we're going to toss it all together. But you see, you take the blackness off of the peaches as much as you can. A little bit of it is not going to hurt. It actually adds a bit to the flavor. It's not like burnt. It's going to kind of like a little bit more of a caramelized kind of flavor. But you'll see. So anyways, put those in there. Give them a nice slice up into like, obviously in slices, and the strips of the peppers. A good decent amount of pepper on there, and also then we're going to make our salad dressing, so that'll have a little bit of garlic and olive oil. Obviously season this with salt too, and good quality sea salt. I like using Malden sea salt if you have that. I didn't have that, my parents didn't have that at their house, but that's fine, because it is a savory dish. Even though it's got peaches in that, you do want to season it correctly. So in there I've got some garlic, I've got that nice olive oil, and we're going to put in the juice of a lemon in there as well, and probably season that up a little bit, and give it a good stir for when we're ready to dress it. Yep, and then my mum's basil that came from the garden. She grows basil like nobody I know. They're practically trees, the plants that she has. We've got some nice rocket or arugula as well, and I think this is perfect. It's got the pepperiness, you've got the jammy peaches, you've got that mozzarella, you've got lemon juice and garlic, all of this sort of mixing in here right now. Give it a good toss. You really want to coat it all very well, so because like I said, you'll get all these flavors mixing together, and that'll, like the peach juice, that'll form part of the dressing. And yeah, and then I found like some really good local prosciutto as well. Wasn't that horrible packet stuff, which is fine, but this is like, this is the legit real stuff that somebody made fresh. It's not been sitting full of preservatives or anything like that. It's the real deal, and it's fantastic. Oh, and then we're gonna finish it off with a few radishes, as I've done there, and I found a few sprouts. I got these both from a farmer's market in southern Ontario as well. May as well. I mean, radishes are just beautiful garnish on anything, but in this salad particularly, you've got that nice crunchiness and a bit of pepperiness, and I mean, what's not to love here? You've got that beautiful fresh salty prosciutto, those jammy peaches, mozzarella, and the pepperiness, all that stuff marrying together. It's a great dish. Okay, here we are. Ribs, about 5.5, 6 hours later. They've come out of the smoker after they've been wrapped. Like I said, this is basically a 3-2-1 method, but we're skipping that one and just adding extra time, or probably an extra half an hour in the smoker wrapped up, just to make it extra super tender. But you don't want it like completely mushy, but my dad called it real good, and this has just turned out perfectly. Look how juicy they are, and they're beautiful. Like they're so savory. It's such a great flavor. Like I said, he smoked these on hickory, but you don't have to use hickory. You can use maple, pecan, apple, cherry. There's like whatever you feel like giving it a try, and pick something you've never used before, and may as well give it a go. So there we go. We're cutting up and ready to serve. Here's that amazing corn. It's just the best corn in the world, straight from the farm into the pot, boiled very simply. So we got the corn, we've got the baked beans that have been smoked with my dad's own bacon, of course the amazing ribs, and my amazing salad that I made to go along with it. All of it's perfect, and then I've got my beautiful family to eat it with. What else more would you want? So what do you think, Dad? What do you think, Dad?
I think it's great.
And I think it's awesome too, Dad. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This is Eat the World. Please subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.